So this is Louis, and I got a lot I got to do tonight in terms of my job. So unfortunately, I thought about doing a stream, but I don't have time. I don't know if I'll have time at all this weekend. I'm just kind of busy. But I wanted to take a second here and explain the joke. Some of you may have seen the previous time that I've done this with that Alex Jones video where I just pretty much say that I don't really have a lot of respect for him, and I see him as mostly just a living meme. But in this case, regarding Ben Shapiro in this, his visit, his guest spot on, I think it's Fox and Friends, whatever the Fox segment is with those three figures, he went on there and he was complaining about the budget deal that was just made between the Republicans and the Democrats. And one of the big things is because of Trump's tax cuts and because of his increased military spending, we now have a massive deficit. So we have a budget, a national budget for the federal government, and they take in revenue through taxation, and then they spend that money on services or contracts or whatever they spend it on. The problem is that we spend more than we take in, and we also do tax cuts all the time, especially under Republican administrations, and we have all kinds of fucking free speech events where defense contractors will free speech politicians to then give them people's money. That is what military contracting is. It is socialism for certain companies. There are many companies, including companies that I could name, but I probably shouldn't, that are in my immediate area, of which they subsist on government contracts because they make bombs and all sorts of other things, or materials to be put into bombs so that they're explosive. There are entire companies of which their entire income is based on government contracts. Defense contracting is socialism. As I'm sure many of you are aware, I'm not against the Pentagon existing. I'm not an isolationist. I'm not a pacifist. I'm not somebody that argues that we should just close up shop and allow the fucking Chinese to run the fucking world. I've gone off on 40-minute rants about that. The problem is when you pretend as though, as Ben Shapiro is doing, you pretend as though that Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, and Social Security are the only things in the government that one can cut. And you don't address the trillions of dollars that we give away to private contractors through taxation in our government. You don't address that at all, even though it's true. Because if you were even principled at all, Ben Shapiro, you would address that, but you don't. You're literally George W. Bush and the Republicans from 2005. You are a fucking liar and so disingenuous that I have no respect for you anymore. I have no respect for you as a talking head. Okay, there are, like Tucker Carlson, I have respect for. There are conservatives I genuinely have respect for. There are conservative followers of mine, subscribers, that I have genuine respect for. But Ben Shapiro, you are a fucking hack. Your only interest is the Republican Party getting the money from defense contractors so that they can be electable. You are rehashing bullshit propaganda from all the way back in like 2004, 2005, when the Republican Party, through George W. Bush, tried to privatize Social Security. It was a fucking disaster. And you know why? It's not a fucking popular idea. People don't trust the Republicans to do it, and they don't trust Wall Street. And guess what? They are right to not trust fucking Wall Street. And here's another thing about this. The beautiful part of Obamacare, okay? Let's privatize Social Security. I want you, Ben Shapiro, to tell me that it's not going to have an individual mandate where you compel people to put their money through probably just taxing it out of their paychecks into an account run by a fucking Wall Street firm. You tell me that it's going to be voluntary because I know you are a fucking liar. Because with Obamacare, that was a fucking right-wing strategy. You compel people to invest in the private sector using government. People can bitch and moan, oh, this is a left-wing idea. No, it's fucking not. It was a Republican strategy that Obama implemented and that you will implement if you got your way with Social Security. You wouldn't take away the involuntary issue of being taxed out of your paycheck, which is how it's actually taken out. It is taken through your check. It's not something that is fully within the revenue of the government. It is separate. It is its own tax. Not that you'll ever fucking address that because you're a liar. But the fact is that if you were to privatize Social Security using whatever fucking private accounts, whatever you want to call it, just like George W. Bush tried, you would make it involuntary. You would have a law that would compel people to invest in that account. I don't believe you if you were to say otherwise. Because you're a fucking neocon. You're a fucking neocon. You are the regressive right. You are the George W. Bush era fucking Republican. You are not a Tucker Carlson. You are not a Steve Bannon. You are not the whole list of you're not even like a Steven Crowder to my imagination. You're not a Paul Joseph Watson. You're not any of them. You're not any kind of alternative to the fucking status quo of conservatism. No, you are a money is speech. I'm a libertarian on open borders, and we should privatize Social Security, but I'm going to make you fucking pay for it. And it's just going to go to Wall Street, and I'm going to get kickbacks for that system. And also, at the same time, we need to increase military spending, even though that's the fucking reason we have this deficit in the fucking first place. Trump exploded military spending. This was a big story that only about 5 fucking people cared about, because only 5 fucking people in this country are honest enough to say it's an issue, even when they agree that we should have the system we have in terms of our presence in the world. It's just addressing the fact of how much money we are fucking forking into these private corporations that are, building the bombs, that are building the jets, that are designing the fucking, all the shit we use in the end. It's not to say that we should just, we should get rid of it all or do something radical. I'm not even saying that, but you can't sit there and complain about the debt and deficit while at the same time calling in the same sentence for increased military spending when we literally just did that. Even when the Pentagon wasn't even asking for it, we did it anyways. Congress passed it. The Republican Congress passed it. It's so unbelievably disingenuous that I'm having flashbacks for why I voted for Obama. This is the kind of shit that drove me to say, hell yeah, fuck John McCain, I'm voting for Obama. Because at least with Obama, it's an alternative. With John McCain, it is literally status quo down the line. Now, say whatever you want to about Barack Obama. Say whatever you want to. But I am literally having flashbacks to George W. Bush being the president by listening to Ben Shapiro. By the way, are you going to be talking about how we need to slash fucking funding for the VA? Are you going to have the balls to say that? No, you're not, because you're a fucking hack, Ben Shapiro. You're not going to talk about the VA. You're not going to talk about Medicare, really. You're not going to talk about it. The benefits we give out to the soldiers, you're not going to talk about that because you're a fucking coward. You are unprincipled. You just want to increase military spending so that contractors can give kickbacks to Republican congresspeople, congressmen, congresswomen, and the president, and the GOP overall. That's all you fucking care about. I'm not trying to say that, every conservative is Ben Shapiro, because obviously, that's not true. Anyone listening to this with, 2 brain cells to rub together, so to say, knows that there are plenty of conservatives that don't agree with this, that may have some sympathies to make cuts to Social Security, or, make cuts to welfare, which I know is very popular on the right, make cuts to Medicare, Medicaid. Okay, that's fine. Just don't fucking lie to me. Don't lie to me and tell me that you give a shit about the debt and deficit. Don't fucking lie to me. Don't fucking lie. Because I know you are lying while in the same breath you're talking about increasing further the military spending in this country when we spend the most out of fucking anyone. I don't understand why it has to be this dichotomy of people that want to have a fully socialized Medicare system, healthcare system, and fully university public funding. We have full funding for university. And then on the other end, it's basically the government exists to just give fucking subsidies to corporations. They'll just build us tanks and all sorts of shit that we'll never fucking use. We're not in any immediate fucking war, so why do we need increased spending? I don't know. It's just the corporations need profit because they subsist on that income from the fucking government. That's why. God damn, dude. I can't take this guy anymore. I'm a libertarian on fucking the borders for the United States because cheap labor, no other fucking reason. And yet on Israel, not so fucking in favor of open borders, are we, bro? God damn, dude. I swear to God, I've been saying this for a while now, but there is as much fucking rot on the right as there is on the left. And you've heard me scream about the left for years if you've been following me. I swear to God, guys, I don't even know where to start with conservatives. I don't even know where to start. I keep having to rewrite my script on that video because it's like, I don't even know where to start. Because there is so much fucking wrong with the right. Your priorities are out of whack. You are governed by fucking incredible arrogance on everything. You refuse to look in the mirror on any of these things. Like, this is something that failed in 2005. It was a spectacular failure. And here you have Ben Shapiro going on Fox News. The hosts of the show are literally saying you're wrong. Like, they don't come right out and rebuke him entirely. They just say, yeah, you're wrong. But it's like, yeah, you are wrong. You are wrong. And this is a losing strategy. But it's like, okay, if you want to, here you go, Republicans. Okay, you listening to this? If you want the Democrats to have a real chance in winning in 2018, 2020, push this. Have Trump push cutting Social Security or privatizing it just like George W. Bush did. If you want to lose a fucking election, get just demolished in Congress, go do it. Go do it. Talk about how we need to increase military spending despite the fact we're not in any kind of major war, while at the same time saying we need to privatize Social Security because of the deficit. Go do that, as George W. Bush did. You'll get fucking creamed in the next election. Because that's a losing fucking strategy. Not just because people disagree. It's unpopular, yes, but as I'm saying, the real issue is you're fucking lying. You're fucking disingenuous. And people can see through it easily. That was the point of the article I cited. People saw through it. They listened to fucking George W. Bush and were like, this is bullshit. I don't want this. It became increasingly unpopular the more he talked. It's because not just it's unpopular, it's that people don't believe you. For good reason. You're fucking lying. You just want subsidies for fucking corporations to sell us tanks we just mothball in the desert, while at the same time clamoring that we can't afford old people having income. Old working class people that need Social Security to survive for whatever reason. Oh, they're irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. They need it to survive. Otherwise, they're going to fall into poverty. Well, fuck them. Fuck them. We may have solved the issue of old people being in poverty, but fuck them. Because I need to give more of my fucking money out of my paycheck to defense contractors to make shit we don't use or need. Your priorities are fucked.